issues, parental rights issues, school board issues, and had a great Q&A session with all that were in attendance. They really raised the level of awareness with a biblical worldview perspective.
If you're interested in learning more about community impact teams, FRC is hosting a live stream event on Tuesday, October 3rd from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm Robert Thornton.
More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Key. Sometimes it can be hard to catch each live broadcast. This could be due to your job, school, or just life in general. We understand, which is why you don't have to miss out. The AFR podcast page is where you can find all of your favorite shows. Whether it's old or new, you can listen and download each broadcast that you've missed, including the ones you've already heard. Just visit the podcast page at afr.net. Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildman, president of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. I'm Tim Wildman with Ed Vitagliano, and now Steve Paisley Jordahl joined us. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, everybody. He's the man in black today. Because you're I crossed the line. I walked the line.
Yeah.
I
Crossed the line.
Well, you crossed the line by calling me yours. So,
good weekend, Steve, for you.
yeah.
You went to the ball game, right?
I did. Heather and I went to, we got tickets on the 40-yard line at Mississippi State. To
Right.
see, now, I got
Heather's an Alabama fan, right?
Roll Tide. I had to do it. But no, we did. We went to that game, and we had a good time. It was a good game for Alabama fans. And then on Sunday, Heather and I went to Greenwood, Mississippi, over in the Delta, to see Sandy Patty in concert.
And I said this morning when you mentioned this in our story meeting, I didn't know that Sandy Patty was still singing.
She has stopped the touring okay. She can no longer hit the high notes, by her own.
Boy, what a voice she had in her younger days.
But you know what? Her middle range still sounds the same. So she was there, by the way, with Dick and Mel Tunney. I don't know if that name means anything to you, but there was a group back in the 80s called First Call. 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Marty McCall. Well, Melody Tunney was a founding member of that. And Dick, her husband, and she wrote just tons of Christian songs that you know.
Okay.
A lot of Sandy Patty's.
Listen, Sandy Patty, I think that was one of those whatever happened to.
Right. Yeah.
I wondered, and you said you went to Greenwood, Mississippi to see her in concert at a church, I guess.
She's still doing concerts, and she used to sell out arenas.
Oh, yeah.
But now she's...
she's 68. She stopped. Here's the thing. Two things I remember about Sandy Patty.
Yeah.
In her prime, so to speak, is... you remember the song Love in Any Language?
Yeah, she sang that. Yeah.
Wow. That was one of my favorite songs.
She sang that last night?
Oh, did she?
Yeah, you bet she did.
One of my favorite songs ever is Love in Any Language by Sandy Patty. Just go listen to it. It's just, in her voice, it's just from God.
Yeah.
God said, and I will bestow unto you back
Yes.
a voice of an angel.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, Love in Any Language. And then I remember her also singing the national anthem for July 4th in New York. It may have been at Ellis Island or somewhere. And I think it was about Bush. George W. Bush was president. He was there, and she sang the national anthem. You can look up Sandy Patty sings national anthem and see what pops up. Yeah, see what pops up. I think my memory serves me right there. It was probably in the 90s.
Well, it would have been George Bush then, President.
1986.
Oh, you're talking about the first Bush.
I was wrong about the Bush. So it was H.W.
It was 86.
86. So she sang the national anthem in 90.
And he would have been vice president at the time.
Yeah.
Is that right?
88. It was.
So she was invited.
The 100th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty.
She was invited by. So President Reagan was there. Okay, so Reagan was the president. H.W. was the vice president. I don't know which one of them was in New York for this celebration. It got national attention. So basically, the whole country was watching this event, and she was the one who was invited.
And
standpoint.
probably a lot of people going, who is that?
Right.
Because Christians do.
Yes.
People who listen to
Yes,
the radio.
but not the general public.
Right.
But anyway,
Yeah.
what an incredible.
I remember her songs with Larnell Harris. I've just seen Jesus. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah,
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
those two can
Yeah,
sing.
Larnell Harris was actually one of my better students.
Yeah, I can imagine.
At the time, this was back, when I could really let it go too.
When you could sing. Back
Lauren?
when you could.
You get Larnell and me together, forget the Gaithers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh no, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And we were known as
The
Larnell.
rock smells
we
when
were-
you're cooking, brother.
We were known as Larnell and Tim. You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Look at it, Google it.
No, I'm not Googling it either.
Larnell and Tim in concert. Check it out. Anyway,
Steve, I can't believe you're looking
I
up
had
Larnell
I had
and Tim.
I want to see what something's gonna come up.
I had some throat issues. And
Was this before or after
It was after.
you blew your knee out and couldn't make
Make
it to
the
the
NBA?
NBA?
Anyway,
You're like, you ever seen
hey, it's one of those what might have been stories.
Here's what comes
Secret
up.
Life of Walter
With
Mitty?
Tim and Larnell.
Tim and Larnell, Facebook post, "Thank You, Jesus" by Larnell Starkey and the Spiritual Seven. Larnell Starkey and the Spiritual Seven Gospel Singers with Tim Starkey.
Yeah, that's what I'm
The
saying.
Starkey
That was-
brothers, I'll tell you.
I had a stage.
Ringo was there.
That was my stage name. Starkey. Tim Starkey.
That's
Your stage name. Man, I'm telling you.
Okay.
You've got
Well-
a talent. You've got a talent for tall tales. Because you keep these tall tales going. That's my stage name.
That's
Who would choose Tim Starkey as their
My
stage
grandchildren are going to find out a lot about me when
All of it's going to be, frankly, disappointing to
when they get to be adults.
You know,
So I
Starkey.
told them all these stories. Go ahead.
Starkey is Ringo Starr's real last name.
Is it?
Beatles.
Stark.
Okay.
Starkey, Richard Starkey.
And I'm just
And he
kidding.
changed it, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Didn't choose it as a stage name.
For those literalists out there, I'm just kidding. I don't tell my grandchildren kids about my life in music.
Can I, before we get into the Steve stories,
Please.
can I just mention something
You
here?
can. Is it breaking?
It's not breaking.
No.
And some of our listeners have probably seen this on the news. Here's the headline: San Francisco Bay boaters forced to fight off pirates as seafaring bandits ravage community. Now, this is an actual thing.
Is this a serious story?
This is a serious story. That shows you the amount of decay going on in this country. That the people are fighting off pirates. Now they're coming
Right
from
we're off the coast of North Africa now.
Yes, exactly. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking. The Tom Hanks in that movie,
Yeah.
Captain Phillips.
Yeah.
This is coming to America. It's
So there are people out in their boats in San Francisco Bay or somewhere in that
Yes.
area, and they're being robbed.
Their residents living on houseboats and yachts in the San Francisco Bay resorted to physically fighting off seafaring bandits. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Well,
Who are ransacking their ships. Another woman said she rescued a man whose sailboat drifted into the bay without a motor or any way to get back to shore after one of the pirates, which is what the resident called the burglars, cut his boat line during an argument.
Listen, right there next door in Oakland, we talked about this story in this story in our meeting this morning. I read over the weekend, or maybe it was Friday or it was Thursday, Oakland, California, part of the Bay Area. Their city, the NAACP, which is the historic civil rights organization, they've spoken out. The local chapter of the NAACP, they're saying we need more policing. We need law and order. Our town is being decimated by crime. I'm paraphrasing now, but that's basically what the NAACP is saying.
Right.
The NAACP is being criticized by the lefty progressives in Oakland as basically championing white supremacy.
Yeah.
Huh? Because
The NAACP is not black enough.
yeah, well they're saying in order to really be black, you have to be for no police and social justice.
And what you get are pirates.
Right. But the people who actually live in the town, the black inner city black community who live there, residents, are saying, what's happening here is unacceptable. We cannot live like this, and we need police and law enforcement and our city officials to do something. So that's what they're asking for, and then the people, the progressives are saying no. You don't need to punish crime because that's injustice to young African American males, for example.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I saw a tweet.
related to your story there, where you said San Francisco
And Oakland. I see Oakland Harbor as well. Go ahead.
I saw a tweet, a video on my Twitter feed. There was a shooting. I think it was in Pittsburgh. I'm not sure, but there was a shooting and police responded, and it was in a black neighborhood, and the people there would not let a white cop in. They were so angry.
Where was this?
I think it was in Pittsburgh.
Well, listen,
They were so angry at the police, the black officers they let in grudgingly, but in the rudest and most vile of terms, they told this white officer, "You're not welcome in our neighborhood."
listen, we were having a
It's
meeting.
broken, folks.
We were having a meeting this morning, not the show meeting. Ed and I were part of it. Steve, you weren't in this meeting, but it was brought up. The fact that there is becoming an increasing police shortage in America. And that's going to have big ramifications. And they were saying in this meeting, one of our colleagues here was saying this is not only affecting big cities, but it's also now starting to affect mid-sized cities and even smaller communities because of the lack of the police officers they're retiring and they're not being replaced
Right.
because they don't have candidates
Right.
for the jobs. And furthermore, I think this is a valid point. If you have to lower your standards, you see a lot of these police academies now saying, hey, you can come in obese, we'll take you. You know, we're out of shape, we'll take you because
Like the U.S. military.
we're desperate.
Same thing.
We're desperate for warm bodies.
Right.
And so what you get there, I'm not talking about necessarily the physical aspect of this that normally police academies require a certain standard there, but also the fact that you're going to get young, inexperienced people that are good joining police forces. Well, that's a recipe for disaster too, because you get a lot of young, inexperienced cops. Then they're not going to have time to work with seasoned cops to learn how to diffuse situations.
Right.
So they're going to get into fights. They're going to do things that are
Things are going to escalate.
that you would say, yes, that's police brutality. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're asking for problems when the veteran cops are retiring and they're not being replaced by veteran cops who are coming along through the system. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes, it
I
does.
cover this for American Family News, and I'll tell you there's two main reasons why this shortage is happening. Number one, it is terrible to be a cop right now as far as the danger you're in from ambushes and the violence that's going on against cops. It's way out of control. Number two, you have the DAs that are handing down, like they're dismissing cases. So you're a police officer and you work a case and you make an arrest and you button up all the details and you get this guy over to the DA and he lets him go. What's the point?
Right.
Right. Let me tell you a third reason that's impacting police work. And I told you, I predicted this would happen after George Floyd, and it's happening because I see videos of it every day and I hear about it. Since the George Floyd incident happened, it has opened the doors wide open for open defiance of cops and policemen. Open defiance. So now a lot of people, the police say, get out of the car. Well, they just give the finger to the cop,
Sand.
or cuss them back, or say, make me.
Yeah.
And you see these police trying to break up crowds, or break up fights, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there is there's a growing open defiance and disrespect for authority. Okay, we were a baby boomers generation, and I think even the previous generation. Who came after us?
There's a silent generation, but Gen
Well,
X.
back to the millennials.
Gen X.
Okay, I think
is after us.
you can stop at millennials. Millennials still had respect for law and order and respect for authority for the most part. You get below that, again, the George Floyd incident, that changed everything. That was a game changer for police. Now police have to deal not only with just criminal activity and crisis situations, but they have to deal with people who don't want to comply with what they say do. So, anyway, that's another problem. And I don't know where this is going to end, but I do know that there's a growing police shortage, staffing going on all over America.
Yeah.
And that's going to make things worse, unfortunately. You're listening to today's issues on American Family Radio. Steve, what do you
All
got?
right. Yale University.
Yale? Not like Yale, not Rebel Yale.
No, we can talk about the Southern accent in a minute. If you
Okay,
want.
yeah, but Yale University.
Yale University, the Ivy League school, researchers have developed a new airborne method for delivering the mRNA vaccine directly to your lungs. For COVID and whatever else they want to use to alter your DNA.
Now, you say airborne, you're talking about like people might use if they have like asthma.
Yeah,
or something?
like an inhaler.
Okay.
Or like something sprayed from a helicopter over a neighborhood.
That's where you're driving it.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
telling
No,
you,
I know.
listen, we already have academics that are calling for the use of this compulsory and not without public knowledge. Did you know that there's something called bioenhancements, moral bioenhancements?
I've never heard of that.
There are certain things that drugs that they can give you that will cause you to act more morally, according to whoever this is. So less angry,